God started to call me out of the world when I was around 20 years old. And when I first started to recognize that, He wanted to use me, I kind of like rebelled against that. I remember when I was 20, I was having fun. I was at Howard University. I had all these friends. I had this party lifestyle, and I was just having a good time. And I remember I had this dream, and it was like the realest dream that I had ever had in my life. I remember just seeing the end of the world, and it was like the whole world was just covered just with water. And I can remember that I was just in this boat, and I just remember feeling this safety net. And so I'm thinking to myself, okay, like thank God I'm in this boat. The world may be ending, it may be filled with water, but I'm in this boat, so I'm good. So a few seconds later, like something was in the water and like knocked me out of the boat and into the water. So now I'm swimming, and I'm in this dream, and I'm swimming, and like I have a fear of water, so I hate water. And the water was like murky and it was brown, so I was terrified. So I started swimming, and I'm swimming, and I'm swimming. And so I started to like put my head under the water just to see like what was in the water with me. So as I looked down into the water, I just saw like these lights that were just like shining out of my eyes. And there was something in the water that was like swimming towards me, and I couldn't really see what it was at first. So as I'm swimming towards it, I'm thinking like, oh my gosh, like I really hope it's not a shark, because I'm terrified of sharks. So as I got closer, I realized that it was a shark. All I could see is just these like razor sharp teeth just like coming towards me. And then someone just snapped, and like now I'm back in the boat. So I'm looking around, and I'm like, what is going on? Like, who just did that? So there's someone that's sitting next to me in the boat, and it's just this person. And he has on like this black leather jacket, and his eyes just like shine with light. And he's telling me, he's like, you need to give your life to God. And so I'm looking at him, and I'm like, give my life to God? Like, no, I'm not ready for that. So he goes, okay, and he snaps his fingers, and now I'm like back in the water. So I'm freaking out, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm swimming, and I'm swimming, and I'm swimming. And so I'm like, okay. So he snaps his fingers, and now I'm in this like huge, like the tallest building in the world. So I'm sitting there, and the person says, are you ready to give your life to God now? And so I just said, yes, I'm ready, because I was terrified that if I said no, I would end up back in the situation where, basically like death is upon me. So I said yes, like I'll give my life to God. And so I remember just like the room suddenly filled with a bunch of people, and everyone just started to clap, and it was just this amazing moment. And so when I woke up from the dream that night, the first thing I did was call my aunt on the phone, and I told her I just had this crazy dream of some man with like lights in his eyes telling me to give my life to the Lord. And my aunt was so happy. I mean, she's a minister. She gave her life to God when she was like 16. So I believe she was just praying and waiting for this to happen. So she got all excited, and she was like, oh, great, I'm gonna call Bishop and see if he can get baptized. Before I could even say no, she hung up the phone. She called my bishop. My bishop called me and was like, oh, we're so excited to hear that you want to give your life to Christ. I was just like, wow, like this is a lot, but you know what, Lord, I'm ready. So I got baptized maybe a week or two after that. So that just started just my journey of just trying to find out who Christ was. So I just stopped smoking, I stopped drinking, and I just totally just like surrendered everything to God. I went cold turkey, and I lost friends. I left Howard, I relocated to a new school, and it was like I just kind of felt like I just gave everything up for God, and it was really, really, really tough, and like I made a lot of mistakes along the way. A year into my spiritual work with God, I ended up going back into the world.
Next time on Misfits Arise.
What would Jesus do? Like, there's a book that my mom used to give me. What would Jesus do? Remember that book?
Yes.
That book was fire. I read that probably like once.